అయిపోయి అవునవును.
Sir, sir, morning.
Sir, good morning.
Morning. How are you, sir?
Thank you, sir. I'm fine. How about you?
Fine, thank you. Enjoying.
Right. So thank you for serving lemons and oranges virtually for breakfast. మీ ఐకాన్ అదే చూపిస్తుంది కదా. ఓకే. యూఆర్ ఇన్ ద కాలేజ్ సార్ రైట్ నౌ.
నేను డిజిటల్ క్లాస్ స్మార్ట్ క్లాస్ నుంచి ఇది అవుతున్నా. నా పర్సనల్ జాయిన్ కాలేదు.
ఓకే ఫైన్.
డిజిటల్ క్లాస్ రూమ్ స్మార్ట్ క్లాస్ రూమ్ నుంచి చేసి.
అదే. సో యు ఆర్ ది కో-హోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ కాలేజ్ ఆఫ్ హార్టికల్చర్.
యా.
సో దట్ ఇస్ యువర్స్. ఓకే సార్.
ఓకే సార్.
రైట్.
ఇప్పుడు మనం ఇది తీస్తే మైక్ లో అడిగి వినిపిస్తుందా? వాళ్ళు మాట్లాడు మైక్ లో మనకి ఆ రోజు ఎట్లా వచ్చింది? ఏంది మేడం వీళ్ళకి క్లాసులు 10:30కి ప్రోగ్రామ్ అంటే 10:30 వరకు క్లాస్ తీసుకున్నప్పుడు ఎట్లా మేడం? టీచర్లు కొంచెం కొంచెం కామన్ సెన్స్ ఉండాలి కదా. ఎట్లయినా మనం టీచర్లు నాకేం అర్థం కాలేదు. ఏ ప్రోగ్రామ్
కనెక్ట్ అవ్వలేదు ఆప్షన్.
Sir, shall we start, sir? Sir, shall we start? మనకి వినిపించదు. అంటే మనకి నాకు తెలియదు కదా ఎస్ నో అనేది. మేడం ఫోన్ చేద్దాం. మేడం సార్ డీన్ మేడం ఫోన్ చేయండి. సార్ చేద్దాం.
నేను రెడీగానే ఉన్నాను.
మేడం
రెడీ.
సార్ మేడం షెల్ వి స్టార్ట్ మేడం?
గోపాల్ గారిని అడిగారా?
సార్ ఐ డోంట్ థింక్ హీ విల్ బి జాయినింగ్.
ఓకే అండి, యూ కెన్ స్టార్ట్. ఐ థింక్ అందరూ ఒకసారి జాయిన్ అయ్యారా? ఎంతమంది నెంబర్ చూడండి ఒకసారి, బికాస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఫర్ ఎవరిబడి. దిస్ ఇస్
యా ఓకే.
మార్నింగ్ మేడం. గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ మేడం.
గుడ్ మార్నింగ్. విల్ వెయిట్ ఫర్ 5 minutes. Let all others also join.
Definitely.
Surrender, how many people have joined? Shall we start? I think we can start.
Madam, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Shall I start, madam?
Yeah, you can start.
Respected chief guest for the program, Dr. T. Janki Ram Garu, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. YSR Horticulture University. Guests of honor for the program, Dr. A. Padmavatama Garu, Dean of Horticulture, Dr. YSRHU. Dr. K. Gopal Garu, Associate Dean, College of Horticulture, Anantarajupeta. The speaker of the day, Dr. P. Srihari Garu, English and Foreign Languages University, Hyderabad. Associate Deans, staff members, and students of all other affiliated colleges. Good morning and a warm welcome to this guest lecture on soft skills. So this program has been arranged with the intention that the students, especially the students who join in companies, they have been sacked due to lack of proper behavioral skills. So they may be good at the technical skills. Some people have been sacked from various companies. So keeping this in our mind, not only that they need to have professional skills, in addition to professional skills, they should also possess soft skills, which deal with the behavioral skills, like developing leadership skills, communication skills, and moving properly with the other colleagues of the companies. So keeping this in our mind, we have organized this guest lecture on soft skills. So this right now I request Dean of Horticulture, A. Padmavatama Garu, to say a few words on this occasion.
The in charge associate dean, will he not talk? Okay. Very good morning to all. Respected Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. T. Janki Ram Garu, the University Officers of Dr. YSR Horticulture University, Associate Dean Dr. Gopal Garu, and Associate Deans of other colleges, faculty members, students, and all guest speaker, Sri Srihari Garu from English and Foreign Languages University, Hyderabad. Very good morning to all of you. Really, please unmute your videos. Some disturbance is there. So very good morning to all. I feel personally that this is a great program organized by the Associate Dean, College of Horticulture, Venkatram Anantarajupeta. In fact, as Surendra Nath Reddy told, nowadays soft skills are very important for every organization, because soft skills is nothing but they are the communication skills, or when you join an organization or in education for giving a seminar or for an interview or for a Viva OC, how we express ourselves, how we communicate with the higher official, how we communicate with the other colleagues, and how we get adapted to the situation, and how we solve the problems, and how best we can do, how smartly we can work in an organization is very important in every organization, because though some students or some people, some employees, though they have very good knowledge about the subject, if they lack proper communication, it's a failure from their part, because other person should receive your words in a positive manner, and at same time, so that whatever the work you are applying or whatever job you are applying for it should be fulfilled. So the effective communication is very important. Once after joining, also for the success of a project or for success of a work in the organization, how effectively work with the team. Teamwork is very important, because the ideas will differ from individual to individual. the idea one person will get need not be from the other person also. So in teamwork, people will give their ideas. So effective teamwork will lead to success of a program. So soft skills are nothing but how we get adapted to the new situation or in an organization, how best we can communicate and how best we can we treat the colleagues and we create a friendly atmosphere so that we can get the work done smoothly and thus bringing laurels to the organization. So when it comes to our university, in fact, the lot of education and research is going on, and for effective communication, again, for effective taking over this research part through effective technologies to the farmers, again, the extension people should communicate and should convince the farmers in such a way that they will adopt the new techniques. Not only that, even in jobs also, our students are joining in so many organizations. For that, it is very much important that they should communicate well, because communication skills are very, very important nowadays. Whatever you have in your mind through knowledge, that you have to communicate properly to the other person. So this program, I feel, is a very, very effective program. I really thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor for promoting this type of programs. And also I really thank the organizers, Associate Dean and the Assistant Professor, Dr. Surendra Reddy, for organizing this program, so that certainly all the participants and all the students and all the faculty members, especially students, will be benefited by this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam, for the message given by you. Shall we continue with the program, madam? We have the guest speaker with us, Dr. P. Srihari Garu, who has a vast experience in a professional field, that is teaching. He has not only taught in different universities which were established in India, but also he has vast experience in teaching overseas, different universities established in abroad. In addition to his professional career, he has written a lot of papers, lot of research papers, and which were published in various well-recognized well-recognized journals. And also not only prose, poetry, and other areas of English literature. Right? I take this opportunity to welcome Dr. P. Srihari Garu, and I request him to continue with the lecture on soft skills. Welcome, sir.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for your kind words. Before I proceed with my short presentation on soft skills, I would like to thank the Vice Chancellor, Professor T. Janakiraman Garu, Dr. A.S. Padmavatham Garu, who has already introduced the key ideas of soft skills, and even the convener, Dr. T.V. Surendranath Reddy Garu, has also briefly introduced the topic. So both of them have made my task very easier. And I'm here because of my association with Dr. T.V. Surendranath Reddy Garu at MREEC. We worked there together for about 3 years. I know him as a colleague, as the HOD, and as a person who inspires people with his work ethic and professionalism. So thank you, sir, for having me here. And I'm sure the students of Dr. YSR Horticultural University will appreciate the kind of efforts the university is making to bring them a lot of ideas on useful topics such as soft skills. Well, before I proceed with my presentation, I'd like to ask the students a few simple questions, so that they may just answer by yes or no using their chat box, or they can just speak, whichever is convenient to them. Well, the first question is, do you like the field of horticulture? You can type in yes or no, or just raise your hand. Anything is okay. Do you like the field of horticulture? Okay, some of you can also speak, fine. Right. So my next question is, do you miss most of your classes? No response for that? Do you miss most of your classes? Only some people have typed in no. How about other people? Silence is half agreement. That means you all miss your classes? Right. The third question is, do you know a lot of information or things about soft skills? Yes or no? And the fourth question, do you like to learn more about soft skills? Well, I see some of your responses. Okay, so thank you for responding. Can you all hear me? Is my voice audible to you? I can't hear you. Is my voice audible to you? Students, can you hear me?
Yes, they can.
Right. Okay, so today we are living in a world which has certain issues, like the COVID-19 pandemic is playing havoc with our lives. We are facing climate change. There are some wars and tensions, and the jobs are being laid off. Economies are collapsing, and the world economy is on the brink of global recession. So how do we deal with these things? As students, is it enough if we are just focusing on our studies? Or do we get to think about these things also? Do these things affect us? So whenever a conference or a seminar or a guest lecture, this is organized, we try to see how we can relate what we are learning with the global challenges. So as a result of all these challenges, there are people who feel that we are living in a VUCA world. That is, the world we are living in is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. But it's not all gloom and doom. We as students, teachers, and administrators can do a lot to help our learners to have certain qualities and traits which they can use in their studies as well as in their day-to-day life. So we need to be able to replace volatility with vision, uncertainty with understanding, complexity with clarity, and ambiguity with agility. So when we expect our students to acquire certain positive traits, we can take recourse to different subjects, different domains. So one such domain which integrates many fields and many domains is soft skills. So in my short presentation today, I'll be talking to you about what are soft skills, why are they important, who should learn them, where should you use them, and how should you go about learning them. And I hope by the end of this session, you'll be clear about all these things. And as and when you have any questions, you may feel free to ask me. Well, what do we mean by soft skills? Yeah.
Zoom your slide, sir, so that
Right. Sir. Okay,
it
no
will
problem.
be clearly visible.
Okay, I'll do that.
Slideshow.
Yeah,
Go to
yeah.
slideshow, sir.
Yeah, I'm going.
All right. Thank you.
Right, sir? Right. So when we say soft skills, different people have different views about it. Recently, they are also called power skills. There is nothing soft about this. In fact, you can empower yourself by possessing these skills. That's the idea. as Dr. A.S. Padmavatamagari has already mentioned, students need them in their academic life, and the professionals need them in their professional life, and all of us need them in our day-to-day life. So they have the power to empower us, but we should be ready to use them. Well, when I say we should be ready to use them, I don't mean to say that you don't have them. We all possess these soft skills in abundant measure. Only thing is that some of us might not be aware of them. So my task in today's talk is to help you become aware of these things. And it's just an umbrella term. When we say soft skills, as I told you, different domains and different fields come together, and it can be defined very broadly. So we look at our personality traits, interpersonal skills. People also call them employability skills, life skills, people skills. So there is no specific definition to this particular term, soft skills. That is what I want you to keep in mind. And you may want to know where and when it originated. And it's just a recent phenomenon. In the late 1960s, the US Army has coined the term soft skills. The idea then was to help their soldiers to learn certain social skills so that they'll be able to lead the groups and kind of bring in some sort of motivation. So that was the context in which the term soft skills originated. But there's nothing new about this. As India is the oldest civilization, this particular term and the concept is deeply ingrained in our psyche. So India is the only country which can boast that we've had these soft skills for centuries together. Though the term is just 4 or 5 decades old, because of our civilization, tradition, and customs, we have deeply, this particular concept is deeply ingrained in our psyche, which is the reason why I say it is in our DNA. And of course, we all know we are living in a society which practices unity in diversity. Look at the amount of diversity you see around, the kind of cultures, traditions, and customs, our caste, color, creed, region, the number of languages we speak, the types of dress we wear, the kind of celebrations and festivals we have. So all that show that there is a lot of diversity in India. And of course, most of you speak more than 3 languages. And the Sanskrit term, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, we all follow this in true, this particular principle in true spirit. We want the globe to be one. We want cooperation and collaboration among the people of different societies of the countries of this world. India is taught through people like Mahatma Gandhi, non-violent means of protest, and we have our Ayurveda and medical practices, centuries old, and we are teaching the world yoga, meditation, and breathing exercises. There are different types of them, and we are part of non-aligned movement and democratic spirit. Why I'm talking about all these things? Just to tell you that this particular topic, soft skills, is not very much new to us. Perhaps in the Western context, this coinage of the term in the late 1960s must be new to them, but we have been practicing this particular term, soft skills, for many centuries. So you should feel proud that we all have these soft skills, but only thing is some of us might not be aware of them. And if you look at the ancient learning institutions such as Nalanda and Takshila, which were established in the 5th century, they trained the students in fine arts, medicine, mathematics, astronomy, politics, and the art of war. So a particular student is supposed to learn many things. But unfortunately, due to extreme specialization, what is happening now is that we are not getting holistic education. You are a student of horticulture, and I'm a teacher of languages. So I would only be interested in English. You would only be interested in horticultural practices. So we're not trying to kind of learn from each other. As a result of extreme specialization, this has happened. But in the past, knowledge was undivided. For instance, Aristotle and Plato, they were the fathers of everything: economics, politics, sociology, psychology, philosophy. You name a particular discipline or field, Aristotle had done so much about it. Even today, there are some thinkers like Noam Chomsky, though he's a linguist, he's very good at politics, international relations, and many other fields. So you need to kind of go beyond your field, beyond your specialization, so that you can enhance your knowledge, so that you can acquire new skills, or sort of skills that are that could be related to your field. For instance, Chanakya's Ardhashastra, and we have medical treatises by Charaka and Sushruta, and we practice these. We had such excellent and exemplary ideas about economics, about politics, and about politics, economics, philosophy, and many other fields. This is what I'm trying to tell you. For instance, if you look at Charaka's medical ethics, it says that you must not become intoxicated, commit evil, or hang around with wicked people. So centuries old, this was what they propagated. So when we say soft skills and then say, well, you need to be well behaving. So why do we need to kind of talk about it now? Because many other people have already said so much about the importance of virtues, the importance of having good behavior. As the organizers have already said, people are being sacked from their jobs because they don't have the right behavior. If you have the right skill, if you have expert knowledge, that's not enough. You should be able to get along with them, other people on the job, and you should be able to have a growth mindset, and you should be able to have the right behavior. But we can take inspiration from our age-old practices. I'm just giving an example of Charaka's medical ethics, which talks about being pure in your heart. And then you must strive with all your soul for the health of the ill. So whenever you are, of course, this particular point relates to the medical field, where what a medical practitioner should bring to his service. And it says that you have to be fully committed. You have to strive with all your soul. So how do we relate this to our field? If you are a student, you have to say, put in your heart and soul into your studies, which is the reason why I asked you, do you like this question? Do you like the field of horticulture? Do you miss any classes? That was the reason why I wanted to kind of know your perception about this. That was the reason why I asked you these questions. Yes. So whenever you are doing any particular job, what is very important is that we have to put our heart, soul, and mind into it. So you must strive with all your soul for the health of the ill. And the thing, you must have a good tone of voice and be attentive. Always be working to expand your knowledge. Yes. Whenever we speak, how do we speak with people? Are we trying to speak politely, or are we being very harsh? Are we being aware of the dynamics of the situation? Are we thinking of who we are speaking with? Like when you speak with your friends in the canteen, well, the way you speak is entirely different. Hey guys, where are you going? What's happening? Do we have a class today? But when you speak with your teachers, then you speak differently. Good morning, sir. Could I ask you a question? I would like to discuss with you certain things. So your voice and everything will change, and then expand your knowledge. Yes. How many of you read newspapers? Ask yourself. How many of you watch television channels for increasing your general knowledge and awareness? How many of you read at least one book each month? And how many of you have written certain essays, certain structured notes on horticulture, horticultural practices? How many of you publish your work if not in journals and magazines and newspapers, at least in the social media. So how active are you on the social media to kind of bring awareness to the issues that matter to you and to the people around you, or at least to have some fun, to have some entertainment, or at least to kind of share certain useful things with other people. So you can use social media to improve your written communication, to expand your knowledge, and to learn a lot of new things. This is something that most of us can do. Well, in my presentation today, as I told you, this is a very vast area. Perhaps a semester's length is enough. Let's say 4 to 5 months of period is required to give you sufficient practice in this particular area known as soft skills. But since I've been assigned to do a good job in about an hour's time, if Dr. Surendranath Reddy permits, I might take more time. It is up to the organizers, the amount of time they want to give you. But I'll try and try to cover a few things which I feel most of the students need. Right. So I'll cover certain aspects related to the topics such as personality traits, multiple intelligences, emotional intelligences, and top soft skills. I'll confine myself to a few things because, as I told you, because of the paucity of time, because of the lack of time, I cannot take up several aspects related to this particular topic. Well, let me now share with you the big 5 dimensions of personality. So what does it mean? That when we are trying to assess ourselves, or when we are trying to assess other people, we look at 5 important qualities or traits or dimensions of personality. So these are: how open is someone, how conscientious are you as a person, and your nature of behavior, whether you are an extroverted person or introverted, and how agreeable are you, and the kind of neuroticism that you have. So let me explain these things with reference to a particular aspects, such as the high amount and low amount of these traits. For example, a person who has a high amount of openness tends to be very creative. So ask yourself, are you willing to learn new things? Are you open to try new things? Do you take risks? For example, do you have a web page? Have you created a YouTube channel? Do you journal every day? Do you take notes? There are a lot of things that you can do just to try out. How often you go picnicking to new places? How often you visit places, new places of historical importance, or travel to new places, anything, and focused on tackling new challenges. So do you volunteer? Have you tried to kind of work for certain causes? For example, if there is a lot of traffic chaos, and if you are part of it, have you done something about it? So happy to think about abstract concepts, like we have minimalism, feminism, Marxism, communism, we have democracy, we have dictatorship. There are a lot of abstract concepts and things like that. So how often we think about it? And if you are somebody who is low on openness, dislikes change, he doesn't enjoy new things, resists new ideas, not very imaginative, and dislikes abstract and theoretical concepts. By looking at these points, try and ask yourself, do you have this trait, openness, in you? And then, are you a person who has got this conscientiousness? That means whenever you want to make a presentation, do you spend time preparing? For instance, this particular guest lecture is organized. You can appreciate the amount of time Dr. Surendranath Reddy and others have taken in organizing this. They put you in some rooms. They have asked you to kind of take the help of your laptops and your smartphones to join this class, and they created a Zoom link. They created a YouTube link. So they have done so much work. So this is being conscientious. And someone who has got this quality or trait also finishes important tasks right away. Like you don't procrastinate. Most of us, well, we say, oh, this is something that needs to be done by Saturday. Okay, I can wait till Saturday and I'll do that. So do it now. That is the idea. So you don't need to procrastinate. You don't need to wait. You don't need to postpone things. And then do you pay attention to detail? Like, for example, when you look at something, like, for example, look at this slide and you have 1, 2, 3 4 different colors and the points, the way they are structured. So this is what is called paying attention to detail whenever you're doing anything. For example, now look at the place where you are sitting now. What do you see around? Just take a look at and then see what are the things that surround you. What are the things that surround you? Take a look at it. Who is sitting around you? Who is sitting in front of you? Who is sitting behind you? What is there in front of you? Yes. And what are the objects you have? What is the equipment you have right now where you are sitting? How people are dressed? What kind of noises do you listen to? You're listening to my voice. Other than that, what else are you listening? Maybe you listen to the sound of a vehicle going around, or maybe you listen to some other sounds. So pay attention to detail. Yes. And those who have low amount of this particular trait, they dislike structure and schedules. Well, do you follow the schedules? Do you follow the deadlines? Do you want to do things in an organized manner? All these are important things for us, and makes messes and doesn't take care of things. Okay. Of course, we can relate this to many things. Maybe your day-to-day life, your college life, or your professional life. But then, since we are meeting people of different backgrounds, I just want you to confine to only the students. For example, is your classroom a mess, or is your home a mess? How do you keep things around you? Can you pick out the pen that you need? Can you pick out the eraser that you need? Can you pick out the sharpener that you need very quickly from your house? Ask yourself. And fails to return things and put them back where they belong. Okay, a place for everything and everything in its place. Do you follow this principle? A place for everything and everything in its place. Do you know where your things are? Do you waste time looking for things every morning? Okay. So they don't procrastinate on important tasks. Look at the third thing, the extroversion, whether you are extroverted or introverted. People who are extroverted, they want to kind of mingle with others. They want to attend many programs. They want to be everywhere. In other words, you become the cynosure of all eyes. You're at the center of attention. You want to, for example, if someone says, if you have any questions, feel free. So person who is extrovert says, well, I would like to answer. I have a question, sir. And there is a program going on. Is there someone who would like to share their opinions, would like to speak? So a person who is extroverted will take the initiative and then say, well, I would like to speak. So you need to do that. So you can't learn things unless you take the initiative. And you can't blame your background for not possessing certain qualities. We all come from different backgrounds. But what we learn is up to us. The kind of attention that you have, the kind of patience that you have, and the kind of initiative that you take. These things will decide how many new things you learn and how you will go up the ladder. whether you will be able to shine, whether you will be able to thrive, flourish, or perish. You decide whether you want to flourish or perish. And you are the maker of your own destiny. And whenever an opportunity is presented, you can just say, yes, I will do it. Well, I understood this point. Just raise your hand. I understood this point. Yeah, without any hesitation, you should be told. So that's important. And when you are in a situation where you need to speak, you can start conversations. You're at a party or at a function or a conference or anywhere, in a seminar. So be willing to discuss things with people, start conversations, and you should enjoy meeting new people. So how often do you meet new people and what do you discuss with them? So ask yourself. And you have wide social circles, friends, acquaintances, you volunteer, you do a lot of things for social causes, for many other purposes. You organize programs in the university. You say that let's have more facilities. Let's have a language club, or let's have a drama club. Let's volunteer and do something. So you have to be willing to experiment, and you have to be willing to participate in different activities. Only then you develop the right qualities. And you can do you make friends easily? Do you get along with others easily? And then do you feel energized when around other people? And so this is very important. You have to feel upbeat. You have to feel enthusiastic. You have to feel energized when you are in a social gathering. That's very, very important. So the kind of enthusiasm, energy, the interest you show will inspire other people. When you're trying to learn in a particular situation, you can help yourself by being extroverted. This is what I'm trying to say. And your quality of being extroverted will also help other people. We all can motivate others. We all can cooperate with others. We all can collaborate with others, and we all can work together. Working together in teams can be much more interesting and can be much more productive. And things can be done effortlessly and easily by being in teams. So from now onwards, whenever you get a chance, mingle with people, try to learn new things, try to do new things. Think of what else can be done in a particular situation to improve that particular situation. So endless. You can get endless thoughts to practice soft skills. This is what just I'm trying to say. So you don't need to be alone. You don't need to feel depressed. You don't need to feel tired, and you don't need to. You can just socialize with people. Whenever there is an opportunity, give small talks. And try not to avoid people. And then whether you have an agreeable personality. So if you have an agreeable personality, others find that I can always approach him or her, and this person is very pleasant. I can always talk to, very amicable, very friendly. He or she talks and cares about others. This person is sensitive. This person shows empathy, concern for other people, enjoy helping other people, and assist others. So the qualities of trying to help each other, trying to contribute, showing empathy, becoming interested in things are some of the characteristics of being agreeable. But whereas if you don't have this agreeableness in large measure, see, the downside is that you don't take interest in things, and you don't care about how other people feel about you, and you have little interest in others' problems. We are talking about COVID-19 pandemic, economies collapsing, jobs being laid off. And if you say, well, how does it concern me? It's none of my botheration. I'm very happy with watching something on Netflix or watching a particular serial or playing a particular sport. But that's not the case. Everything is interrelated. The whole world is interrelated. So what happens in some part of the world will affect us either directly or indirectly, which is the reason why we need to be proactive. So being proactive and taking steps to solve the problems around us will help us to deal with the global issues in the future. And you don't need to insult other people and belittle them, and you don't need to be involved in manipulative practices downside of it. And a person who has neuroticism experiences a lot of stress, worries about many different things. Yes, I said that you should be concerned about what's happening around you. You should try to become knowledgeable about it. But that doesn't mean that you should get upset when things around you are not good. As I said, there's a lot of volatility and uncertainty. But what is important is how you make sense of things around you. Once you make sense of things around you, you should take steps to make it better, make the situation better. That is something that's important. To help you do that, you need to become aware of. So check the sort of moods that you are in, check the kind of qualities that you have, check the kind of knowledge that you have about things, and check what can be done so that we can improve the situations. What are the situations that need to be improved? What are the problems that need to be attended to, resolved? Identify a list of problems and then try and overcome them. So when you experience anxiety, when you experience some sort of depression, when you experience some sort of anger or stress, learn how to deal with them. So you need to be emotionally stable, learn to deal with stress, and you don't need to feel sad or depressed, don't need to worry much. You should try and feel relaxed and enthusiastic as much as possible. Well, that is a particular theory proposed by prominent psychologists, and see how many of those big 5 traits you can include and practice them in your day-to-day life, especially in your academic life, because later on you should be able to translate and transfer these skills to your work life also. Yeah. And then I told you that we would also be looking at certain personality traits that we all possess. So the list is unending. You may have many positive qualities about you. If I ask you, what sort of person are you? Then you say, I'm sociable, I'm generous, I'm polite, I'm friendly. You can give a list of how many. Can someone choose one word that relates to you? Now you have adaptable, ambitious, considerate, cooperative, friendly, gracious, humble, insightful, objective, optimistic, respectful, steady, thorough, well-rounded. Choose any 2 and ask the person sitting next to you, or at least one word which they would like to be associated with, or any other thing. What is one personality trait that they have? For example, I'm insightful. So you can choose just one word from here and ask the person sitting next to you, what is your positive trait? It need not be from this, it could be from any other also. Did you do that? Well, the idea is that we should have as many positive traits as possible. Can you guess how many positive traits a person can have? 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 100, 200, 300, or 500? Well, it is endless. Normally, we expect people to have as many positive qualities as possible. But when you say positive qualities, how you look at the situation is also important. Maybe if you look at a situation where you're talking about the classroom behavior, the kind of positive qualities there will differ. And if you look at a situation where you're working in a team, then the positive qualities will differ from one situation to another. But try and cultivate as many as possible. The list can be very big. The list can be very big. And try and avoid the negative qualities like being impatient, being aggressive or arrogant, cold or deceptive, intolerant, judgmental, moody, neglectful, pompous, selfish, unreliable, withdrawn. These are just a few negative qualities that I've shown Sir was saying that some people were sacked because they don't have the right qualities. It's because if you follow any of these negative qualities when you are on the job, people will not appreciate. You may have excellent technical skills. You may have a great deal of knowledge about a particular job, but if you can't get along with other people, and if you don't behave in the right way, and if you don't have the right mindset, you'll be fired. If not fired from the workplace, at least people will not appreciate you for not showing the right traits. Okay. Now, I want you to kind of develop the knowledge of soft skills in very different ways. One is by focusing on your IQ, EQ, and SQ. These are the things that I want to talk about. Your SQ refers to the social quotient. What do I mean by that? Your ability to relate to the people around you, your ability to get along with other people, your ability to mingle with people, that is the social quotient. And you also have the another SQ, that is sentimental quotient. We feel sentimental about things. So for instance, when a cat crosses your path, you don't want to go. You may feel that it's a bad omen. You may want to look for a particular day and time when you want to start a new thing. So you have sentimental quotient, we have social quotient, and we also have the scientific quotient. We look at things very objectively. We look at things very in a scientific and research-oriented fashion. And we also have the IQ, your ability to solve things, your measure of intellect. But Dr. Howard Gardner, a psychologist from US in 1983, has come up with a list of intelligences we as students and people in general can possess so that we can widen our perspective. What I am trying to say is that we all are good at certain things, but limiting ourselves to a few things will not do the magic. That will not serve us the important purpose. So we need to vary the type of intelligences that we have. So as per Dr. Howard's multiple intelligence theory, you can have the linguistic intelligence. In other words, it's known as being word smart, your ability to use the language, be it spoken, written, or even the visual, textual knowledge. So all these things is linguistic intelligence. So as a student, your teachers or yourself should expect you to have great knowledge of the languages that you speak, how you speak, your knowledge of vocabulary, pronunciation and grammar, and your knowledge of listening, speaking, reading, and writing of that particular language. For example, you all speak Telugu. You all speak, some of you may speak Hindi and English. Now, ask yourself, how good am I? How proficient am I? How fluently I speak? How appropriately I speak? How accurately I speak? Is there some aspects of my language I should change? So you need to check with this particular type of intelligence, that is linguistic intelligence. And of course, there's a lot of scope for all of us to improve this particular aspect. And then the logical mathematical intelligence, your number and reasoning smart. How often do you use the calculator or your smartphone, even for basic mathematical operations? Ask yourself, do you kind of look for some patterns? Do you reason out properly? So that is your, how good are you with statistics? That is logical mathematical intelligence. You don't need to be a student of mathematics to improve your knowledge of maths. You don't need to be a student of philosophy or logic to improve your logical skills. There are a lot of things that we do on a daily basis in our in your institutions, as well as at any place that you happen to be around, which will involve these skills. So try and be conscious and develop them. And then, are you picture smart, which means your visual and spatial intelligence. For instance, when you look at things, a presentation, do you look for any pictures, images like Instagram, Twitter? You have all social media platforms. So the collages that you do, your work with the pictures, images, photographs is very, very important. That develops your visual and spatial intelligence. So when you look at a brochure or a flyer, what do you notice first? Do you first see the images or do you see the text? And when you are in the classroom, are you comfortable listening, or are you comfortable moving around and participating in activities? Are you auditory? That means you learn more by listening. Or are you visual? That means do you learn more by seeing pictures, images, and photographs? So this is what is known as another. The other one is bodily kinesthetic intelligence. So those who have body smart, they are aware of what they do, the kind of gestures that they use, and they want to move around. They don't want to sit at one place for a longer time. Maybe you study for about half hour or half an hour or 45 minutes, and then you say you want to take a short break. So they have this kinesthetic intelligence, and they love pair work, group work, and they don't want to just sit alone. This is also related to bodily kinesthetic intelligence. And then the musical intelligence, the music smart. Okay. How often do you listen to songs? Do you enjoy listening to them while you're studying or while you're working? Do you play some background music? And when you watch a movie, do you kind of notice the musical aspect of it? Like we all say when we watch a movie, well, this is a musical hit. This is a message-oriented movie. This is a sci-fi movie. This movie has a lot of punch dialogues. Now, for instance, Triple R movie has won the Golden Globe Awards for the Natu Natu song. See, that means this particular director has taken a lot of care in putting a wonderful work of lyrics, images, and the choreography in such a way that it has received the world recognition. So a director needs to have not only a good script, but the musical intelligence also. In the same way, you never know which type of intelligence will help you in which situation. So as a matter of general rule, what we say is that as students, it is your responsibility to improve as many types of intelligence as possible, such as linguistic, logical, mathematical, visual, spatial, bodily, kinesthetic, musical, and also the other one is interpersonal intelligence. You are people smart. That means you know how to get along with people. You know how to socialize. You know how to take part in things without offending other people. You know how to behave when you're at a restaurant, when you're at a hospital, when you're at a college, when you're in a seminar hall, when you're in your home, when you're at a party. So your awareness of what is the right behavior at this place is something that you have to be conscious about. I don't mean to say that you don't have these qualities or you don't have these type of intelligences, but just by being consciously aware of it, we can change our behaviors in such a manner that we become more agreeable. We become more loved. That's the ultimate thing. So you should become more likable to others, should become more loved to others. So only when you display your intelligence in a variety of situations and different types of intelligences, that is possible. And then the interpersonal intelligence, self-smart. When you're doing a work, okay, how am I doing? Am I doing it the right way? So when you're alone, you just kind of reflect. You just try kind of assess your own behavior. Not just the behavior, assess how well you are doing a particular task. Tomorrow you want to give a speech in your class. Well, as you're preparing, you will ask yourself, have I structured my speech properly? Have I selected the right topic? Is the content too much? Can I complete it in 10-15 minutes of time that I have? So you ask yourself certain questions. You talk to yourself. That is self-talk. Self-talk is interpersonal and talking to others is interpersonal. So we need to develop these types of these skills and type of intelligence. And the naturalist intelligence, you're nature smart. So you take delight in looking at things around you. You're an environmentalist. You're an environmental activist. If not an activist or environmentalist, you feel that we should take care of our surroundings. We should take care of our environment. We shouldn't scatter things. We should not litter things around. We shouldn't keep our things. We should keep our things tidy. Okay, so this is your naturalist intelligence. You want to find your college to be clean, green. So we all can contribute to greenery and cleanness around by being naturalist, by developing this naturalist intelligence. And the last one that Howard Gardner talks about is existential intelligence. So you're philosophy smart. That means you have this ability to theorize. For instance, when you see in the COVID pandemic around, what is the kind of philosophy that you can, what are some of the statements that you can make? Well, it is punishing us. It is punishing us because we are being uncontrollable with what we are doing, or it is helping us to slow down. The COVID-19 pandemic is helping us to slow down, or the COVID-19 pandemic, it is helping us to be aware of the kind of pollution around. So you can theorize. Of course, your theory may or may not be correct, but there is a philosopher in us. There is an environmentalist in us. This is what Dr. Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence theory is all about. So, to put it simply and briefly, try and develop your intelligence with regard to all these aspects: word smart, reasoning smart, picture smart, body smart, music smart, people smart, self smart, nature smart, and philosophy smart. Of course, when you are learning a particular field, let's say horticulture, for example, what is the one most important intelligence that you people need from these 9? Which is the most important type of intelligence for you? Look at your specialization. You look at your field and tell me quickly. You can type in or speak. Are you allowed to speak? You can just say, give the number. Yeah, which is the most important type of intelligence that horticultural students need? I didn't get any answer. Your answer, please. Is it I think you are not allowed to speak, I suppose, which is the reason why I don't see anyone. Okay, it is the naturalist intelligence. You should be nature smart. Okay. Let me now talk about the EQ that I was telling you a few minutes ago, that we all need to have, apart from SQ, you need to have the EQ also, emotional quotient, or the emotional intelligent. So this particular EQ was popularized by the psychologist Daniel Goleman in 1990s. Of course, most of the things that we discuss are from 1960s to now. That means the work that happened in the West is pretty much very recent. But our philosophers and our ancestors, they already talked about it, and I already referred to you about the medical treatises and Chanakya's works. We can learn from all those things also. But why I'm sharing these things from Goleman and Dr. Howard? Because these can be easily integrated into our existing curriculum. These can be thought about as some structured points so that we can prepare ourselves to develop these aspects. That is the only idea. I'm not trying to endorse these people like Daniel Goleman and Dr. Howard Gardner. So I have no special interest in highlighting these aspects. Perhaps you can use your own theories, you can read your own books and then relate to certain points that you can cultivate so that you develop these skills. So as per his categorization of intelligence, the important aspects of emotional intelligence are self-awareness. So how self-aware are you? Are you clear about your strengths, your weaknesses? Are you clear about what sort of student are you? What sort of teacher are you? What sort of person am I? What are the things that I do to improve my knowledge? So that is by reflecting on the things that you do, you can become aware. So self-awareness is an important soft skill which we all can practice. And then are we regulating our behavior? That is self-regulation. For example, a simple thing. If you feel that your microphone is on, you immediately become conscious about it and then mute yourself. That is self-regulation. And so you become aware of how you are dressed. You become aware of how you are speaking. You become aware of things around you. So this is also sort of self-regulation. And then the motivation. Like you all are doing this particular course, horticulture. What is your motivation? Why have you decided to study in this particular university? That is number one. What is it that you are going to achieve by studying at this place? Are you studying because horticulture is something that motivates you very intrinsically? Or do you think that you are doing this particular course, or do you want to graduate in this field because you can get jobs? Or this particular field is an evergreen field, or this particular field is something so useful to the society, I should develop my competence in that. So ask questions related to whether you have internal motivation or external motivation. Your motivation is intrinsic or extrinsic. Do you look for rewards, awards, or do you feel deeply interested in a particular thing? And then the empathy aspect of it, like express your feeling of sympathy, and then you put yourself in the shoes of the other person. Yes, if I were you in your place, I could understand how it feels. That is being empathetic. You try to get into the other situation very easily, and then see, if I were you, perhaps I would also feel so, or I would do something differently. So expressing your feelings. So you have to be sympathetic and empathetic, but not apathetic. So what is apathy is not attached, not show some emotion. That is apathy. So intellectual apathy is the root cause of social unrest. See what I'm trying to do? I'm making a statement. So I'm using my existential competence, my existential intelligence. So ability to philosophize and ability to theorize. So what I'm trying to say is that those who do not show sympathy or empathy, they tend to be aloof from the society. So intellectual apathy is the root cause of social unrest. You all can theorize about many things. For example, you can theorize about self-awareness. Those who are not self-aware will not be able to achieve great things. It's just a statement that you are making. The statement is that those who are not self-aware will not be able to achieve anything big. Your statement may be right or not, it may be right or wrong, but what is it that you're trying to do? You're using your existential intelligence and trying to make statements about what you see, what you're studying about. So there are many concepts that you study in your own specialization. So you have to critically look at it and make some statements. And the social skills, I've already spoken with you about that. Now see, for example, if you have a high EQ or a lower EQ, as far as self-regulation is concerned, you're in a meeting and a boss criticizes you in front of other co-workers. Maybe if it is a physical class, I can ask you to kind of demonstrate. But now that it is online, you can just see. What happens when you're in a meeting and if your boss scolds you? There are two ways in which you can react to it. One is you become aggressive, you become defensive, and you go out of the office. And the other is you stay calm, you maintain your composure, and you politely excuse yourself and then try to think about it. So the kind of self-regulation that you have. You're in a meeting, someone insults you. How do you behave? You're in a classroom, your teacher snubs you. How do you behave? Do you get angry, or do you kind of retaliate? So this is the amount of self-regulation that we have in our day-to-day behaviors, in our professional behaviors is important. And then the empathy aspect is, your roommate, maybe you're in a hostel. Your roommate tells you that it hurts their feelings when you forget to take out the trash. So you have decided earlier that garbage disposal is the responsibility of all the members of all the roommates. So a person who has higher IQ says, yes, you explain why you made the mistake and tell them you understand why they are hurt. Then come up with an action plan together and how about get both of your needs met. Okay, yes, we have agreed upon how to keep our room clean. So I'll also contribute to the disposal of trash. Or if someone points out that you haven't cleared the trash, which you have agreed to do, maybe if a person who has a lower EQ, you find it difficult to understand why they are so upset and feel attacked by their criticism. When someone criticizes you, how do you feel? When someone finds faults with you, how do you feel? When someone points to you about something that you don't like, how do you feel? So think of all these situations and then see the kind of empathy that you have. And maybe the self-awareness aspect. I'm just giving you one or two scenarios, but this can be applied and studied with reference to myriad scenarios. So you and your colleagues were up for the same promotion, but they got it instead of you. You and your fellow student are equally good, but the other person got the first rank. You stood first in the class. So how do you react to it? A person who is self-aware says, you reflect and realize that you're being honest with yourself. You weren't working as hard as your co-worker and the promotion is well deserved. Or my friend got the first, the other classmate got the first rank in the class. Or maybe I haven't studied as hard as him or her, so it's okay. So, or you may fire off an angry email to your boss demanding an explanation or threatening to quit. So if you and the person sitting next to you write the exam in the same way, but your scores are different. How do you react to that? So think of different situations. You can think of scenarios in your professional life. You can think of scenarios in your day-to-day life. You can think of these scenarios in your college life also. What happens in the classroom also. You can apply these things to any of the areas. This is what I'm trying to say. For example, I'll give you another situation where you can check the kind of motivation that you have. You passed an exam and reported on social media. Okay, how does it feel? A person who has an higher motivational EQ feels that you're proud of yourself and for the goal that you achieved and appreciate any support you receive. You may question your success or worth because your post didn't get very many likes. Yes. Now, many people who use the social media, they get depressed when they don't get many likes. There are a lot of interesting studies on this aspect. You post your picture on Instagram, Twitter, or you post something on Facebook, and if you don't get many likes for that, how do you feel? Do you feel depressed? Do you feel that I should not, you curse the social media and I should not use it again? So how do you react to it is very important. So the kind of balance that you have, the sense of calmness that you have, the sense of composure you have, gets reflected in many things that you do. So you don't need to feel upset or depressed or angry with yourself when you don't get likes. Maybe you try and do different things. Others will start noticing. Maybe these are some of the aspects, some of the topics, some of the things that I'm doing. Maybe not many people like it. So let me diversify my interests. What I mean by diversify my interest is let me work on certain other things and then post about it. and then see how people respond to it. So your willingness to experiment, your willingness to take risks is important than the results you get. Every time results are not very important, but the effort that you put in, the process that you undergo, this will teach you a lot than the results. Sometimes the result may not be in your hands, but the process of doing things in your hands, the process of learning things is in your hands, the process of understanding things is in your hands. So without overtly concerned or worried about the results, you can pay attention to the process and enjoy it and try to learn things. And then the social skills. You don't seem to be getting along with your colleagues. Maybe replace this with your other classmates in a college situation. So you ask open-ended questions and maintain good active listening. You stop paying attention and decide there must be something wrong with your colleague. So when someone doesn't get along with you, don't say that this person is very moody, this person is very aloof, this person is not sociable, he or she doesn't talk to me. You don't need to find fault with them. You don't need to say that there's something wrong with them. So this is what I'm trying to say. So how do we develop this emotional intelligence aspect of it? There are a lot of things that you can do. One is that journaling. So reflect on different situations and write every day something. So which is why we say keep diary entries. That is journalism. Journaling is nothing but you take down notes. You systematically organize all that in a notebook or in a diary, and reflect on things that you're learning, how you feel about this particular field called horticulture, how you feel about your how much time you're spending on social media, how much time you're spending the quality time that you're spending with your family, with your friends, about each day. Maybe just take a few minutes before you go to bed, and then compose your thoughts in the form of a write-up. And exercising and aerobics. So yoga, breathing and meditation. India is the country that has given yoga, breathing and meditation to the world. We feel very proud when International Yoga Day is observed. But are we really conscious of the fact that we are doing this? Do we acknowledge the fact that this is something that's very important? When the world is practicing it, why is it that I'm not doing it? Ask yourself that. So by collaborating with other people, by working cooperatively, by volunteering, by reading and learning new things, why is it that I haven't read a single book last month? Ask yourself questions like this. Okay. So what is very important to improve your holistic personality is that you have to be physically fit, mentally sound, and spiritually strong. To help you do all these things, reading about things, learning new things, exercising, breathing and meditation, all these things will help you. Directly or indirectly, that will help you to achieve things. Yeah, so is it making sense what I'm speaking? Guys? Are you able to make sense of things that I'm speaking about? Okay, so now let me focus on some of the top soft skills that you can develop. Surendra Reddy sir, can I continue for a few more minutes?
Yes, you can certainly.
Okay, sir. Right. So there are a lot of soft skills that you people need to be aware of, or at least we all should think about. Now, if you ask me the question, sir, how many soft skills I should learn? My answer is not less than 100. Sir, how many soft skills I should read about? My answer is not less than 200. But to my field, what are the hard skills and soft skills that I need? So my answer is 10 to 15 will do. This is just to start with. Later on, you can expand your knowledge. These are some of the soft skills many people will need but you as a horticultural teacher, you as a horticultural student might need a different set of soft skills. I'll talk about that after a few minutes. So what are the general things is effective communication, your oral and written communication, and your goal orientation. What is it that you want to become? How ambitious are you? What are your short-term goals? What are your long-term goals? Can you work in teams? Do you have the multicultural skills? Now, the new education policy gives a lot of importance to multidisciplinary knowledge. What it means is that you have to learn things related to different fields. That is multidisciplinary knowledge. We have STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths. But that is not enough. We also need STEAM, science, technology, engineering, technology, and arts and maths. So there should be, for example, you may be a student of horticulture, but you can do a SWAYAM course or Coursera course and learn about data analytics, later learn about IoT, Internet of Things, how IoT farming can be done. You can learn about that. Nobody is stopping you. An horticultural student can learn about coding. You can improve your coding skills and try and do some jobs related to that. So this is what is called multidisciplinary knowledge. We can collaborate with people. We can diversify our interests. We can learn to be creative by learning different things. That is the idea behind the new education policy promoting multi-cultural skills and, most importantly, multidisciplinary skills. That means you shouldn't just confine yourself to one particular field. You should learn about as many things as possible. So I would say you should be a jack of all trades. We should be a jack of all trades. So the proverb is that a jack of all trades is a master of none. But we need to look at it very critically and then modify it. So my statement regarding the specializations is you should be a jack of all trades and master of a few. Let's try and apply this in regard to your own specialization also. And of course, professionalism and work ethic. Maybe for as students, you have your own academic discipline. Talk about your academic discipline, how you are learning, how quickly you are progressing, what are the other aspects that you have to pay attention to, and then how you manage your time, stress, anger, success, anything, and how critical and creative you are, the kind of emotional intelligence I've already spoken about, and then research skills. What kind of research do? You do it on a daily basis. For example, there is this topic. Let me just learn a few new points about it. That is research skills. I'm going to write an essay. So let me refer to 2 or 3 sources, some internet sources, some sources from the some book sources, some article sources. So you can have varied kind of sources for writing a research, for writing an essay. It need not be a research paper. It need not be a thesis or a dissertation, but even to compose a short paragraph or an essay, you have to look for different sources. That is what is called researching skills all about, and the kind of attitude that you have. Most people tend to have very negative attitude or tend to be very rude, but for you to become agreeable and for you to become loud, you need to have the positive attitude. And stay cheerful. How does it matter? How does it matter if you just smile when you see people around you? So being cheerful, smiling most of the time, looking for positive things in every situation is very important. That keeps you really healthy. That gets you out of depression and frustration that most of us experience on a daily basis. And then develop your leadership skills, learn to manage change and time. Okay, so I'll not go into all those details now because that would take some time. What I can just do is focus on this. Okay, so let me now briefly talk to you about some of the hard skills of horticulturalists. What your field is all about. Maybe I've just composed a few things. As you are the specialist, you know many of the things. Using scientific knowledge to grow different types of plants, providing technical expertise to farmers, helping farmers increase their crop output, conducting pest and plant disease investigations, testing soil for quality and fertility, designing landscape for gardens and parks to promote greenery. These are some of the hard skills the horticulturists would be interested in. I said just some. The list is again endless. You may come up with another 20 or 30. As teachers, they would have their own things, lists, and as students of horticulture, you may have your own lists of things that you think you should develop regarding your specialization or regarding your domain. And what are the soft skills that you need as a horticultural student? One is the technical knowledge. So you should have in-depth knowledge about different types of fruits, vegetables, and other crops. And you should understand correct climatic conditions and soil quality. So this technical finesse, technical knowledge will help you. And if you should have a good communication skills. Communication skills are important for teachers, for students, for people of every walk of life. But when you relate it with your own, when you relate these things to your own field, perhaps you need to discuss certain technicalities with your colleagues. You need to share information with them. And you want to simplify information for farmers. So you need to communicate with them. So when you're doing a job, you have to talk to your clients, customers, and if you don't speak their language, they won't be able to understand. So you should be able to simplify things. You should not get technical. It should not be jargon ridden. It should not be too specialistic. What you speak should be understandable for other people. So that is where your horticulturists need communication skills. And you're sharing information and research on horticulture practices. And you should have the research skills and the record keeping skills. So you would be doing research on crops and their patterns, recording the analysis and the insights related to that, and you maintain records of different crops planted and produce that the crops are yielding. So apart from the technical skills, communication skills, the research skills and record keeping skills will help you. Yes, attention to detail is also an important soft skill. Now, I asked you to look at the equipment around you, people who are sitting behind you, people sitting in front of you, what you see, all that. That is just to help you develop this quality of being attentive to detail. So here, as a horticulturalist, you can notice small changes in plants and examine the soil condition to check if a plant isn't growing as quickly as other kinds of weed. I'm just thinking of one scenario, so you can think of many other things. Notice changes in plants and the environment, observe surroundings carefully, identify types of pests, and the effectiveness of method, technology, and practice. Which practice is better? What types of pests are in this area? You can study anything by developing this soft skill, attention to detail and observation skills. Yes, you also need to have the presentation skills. I'm just presenting certain things related to soft skills, but you have to give presentations on matters related to horticulture. So become good speakers, become good presenters, attend workshops, seminars, guest lectures, and develop your professional skills, collaborate and cooperate with others to learn. And then we all need patience. Meeting the needs and goals. As a student, what are your goals? What would you want to learn every semester? What sort of horticulturist you want to become? And you people tend to have this patience naturally because you wait for months and years for plants to grow and produce fruit or flowers. And you tend to be very patient with customers who may not know how to properly care for the plants. So every job, every occupation that we are in teaches us a lot. And one general quality that we all develop is patience. But these days, it has become very common when you notice people around you, they tend to be very impatient. They have frustrations. They have less attention span. It's because of the amount of distractions that they have, the amount of technological distractions and digital distraction that they have. It's the amount of stress they undergo in their relationships. It is because of the dysfunctional family systems. It is because of the general situation around us. It's because of the global events and phenomena of far-reaching events such as jobs being laid off, pandemic and climate change playing havoc with us. So many things can impact our levels of patience. But no matter how the external situation is, no matter how you feel about certain things, you need to display patience and you need to display cheer as much as possible and as often as possible. And then the most important thing is creativity. And in fact, this is one of the important 21st century skills. Yuval Noah Harari and many other people, they have identified 4 C's. One is creativity, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration. Every teacher, every student should have these 4 important soft skills. I repeat, communication, creativity, collaboration, and critical thinking. If you practice these 4 C's as regularly as possible, I can tell you in about a few months' time from now, you will be an entirely different person. Your persona will change. You will be much more dynamic. You'll be much more passionate. You'll be much more committed. You will have a great deal of patience. You will have a great deal of discipline. You will be clear about your path. You will be clear about your goals by consciously practicing these 4 important qualities. That is creativity, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration. So, my dear friends, do study as much as possible and do implement at least a few things on a daily basis so that you can improve your skills. Internet is there, your teachers are there, you can get brilliant ideas, but only thing is that you need to practice these things consciously. I'm just trying to tell you that what I'm presenting is not all Greek and Latin. It's not, there's nothing great about what I'm presenting. These are the ideas, you all know them, but only thing is from now on, let's become aware of the fact that by consciously practicing these things, we can, it can result in improved behaviors so that you can become holistic entities, holistic personalities. You feel great about your own self in different situations. If that happens, you can feel proud that, yes, I have a growth mindset. I have the right qualities. I'm on the right track. I'm doing well. I'm feeling great about things. That's the kind of assurance and the confidence and the you need to have self-esteem, you may call it. Okay. So come up with new ideas to improve the work. Design an outdoor space so that the area has more privacy or looks more aesthetically pleasing. So as a horticulturalist, you will think about these things. As a teacher, I will think about creativity in different terms. And as a carpenter, as a plumber, as an electrician, everyone has their own ideas. Okay, so ask yourself, what are the aspects that I should be clear about related to my field so that I can become more creative? Maybe creating new plant combinations and growing methods, you can research on that, suggest solutions. So creativity is something that can be practiced with every field. That's what I'm trying to say. So horticultural field is no exception to that. You can develop very many soft skills by being conscious about your own field. This is what I'm trying to say with this short presentation. And then, yes, we all need to be flexible. See, when the jobs are being laid off, when there is a pandemic, when there is a climate change, we are grappling with all these situations, but you need to be flexible so that you can adapt yourself. Yes, you were wearing masks for about 2 years nearly, whether you liked it or not. How you felt about it? So that is being flexible. You turn off your phone when you enter a hospital. Okay, you speak politely when you talk to your elders. So this is called being flexible. You just freak around when you're with your friends. You jump for joy when you see some great things happening in your life. So adapting to changing circumstances is very, very important. And dealing with unpredictable environments is very, very important. For example, if a storm hits while they're working on a garden, they need to be flexible enough to change their plans and find ways to continue their work despite the weather. Because of an external situation, we can't stop our work. For example, suddenly my internet connection is off. So I can just turn on my mobile hotspot and then connect to it. So we need to be flexible. If there is a power cut right now, I can just think of certain other things. So you need to develop the critical thinking, questioning, analyzing, interpreting, evaluating what you read, hear, say, or write and learn. A critical thinker needs to have it. For example, Miyawaki forest has become a big trend in Asia. Even in Hyderabad, there are some areas where Miyawaki foresting is going on. Recently, we at IFLU, English and Foreign Language University, also adopted this particular practice. But as a horticultural specialist or as an environmentalist, what is your take on this particular process? What is your take on this particular method, this particular practice? Is it restoring or degrading ecology? So your research should tell you. Maybe you can do this research today and discuss with your teachers. Is it restoring or degrading ecology? So there are many people who feel that this is not really conducive in many environments. So study the environments in which Miyawaki foresting is going on and then see whether it is actually restoring or degrading. There are many other stories like this where you can do a bit of research, collaborate and cooperate, all that to improve your critical thinking skills. Don't take anything at their face value. When someone speaks, is it the person is trying to give his or her opinion? What are the facts? What are the opinions? So you should be able to distinguish between facts and opinions. When you see a lot of things on social media, all that is not true. So is it just posted to get it to make it viral? Is there some truth in it? You watch some things on news. Is there any bias? Why is it there's all not good, so good things are being talked about on the media, in the TV serials? So analyze things very carefully and look for which is a fact and which is an opinion, which is a positive thing, which is a negative thing. All that is critical thinking. Yes. And a few things before I'm going to conclude. Yes, check your intelligence quotient, emotional quotient, and the 3 SQs: social skills, and your scientific quotient, and your sentimental quotient. So you are a mix of all these things. We as human beings, you tend to be moody, you tend to be rational, you tend to be irrational, you are smiling, you are depressed, you are reasoning. We adopt and kind of display different qualities depending on different situations. So ask yourself about these things. Okay, one important thing is that you should have the growth mindset, not the fixed mindset. I want to evolve. I want to learn new things. And as Buddha says, live a life of moderation. Nothing in extreme. Extremities are not good. And finally, just give me 1 minute. I'll have water and come. Right then. So before I conclude, I just want to give an action plan for you guys. So your aptitude plus attitude is equal to your altitude. That means your success depends on the type of aptitude that you have and the kind of attitude you have. Have the right attitude, become passionate about things, and try to get genuinely interested in what you're learning, and see that you become a great person and a successful person. So with these a few insights and the points, I'd like to thank the organizers and all of you for your patience, and I hope I've contributed to your knowledge. So that brings my short presentation to an end. Thank you all once again. Sir, you can.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful message given by you and excellent guest lecture. Thank you very much. Now may I request Dr. Syed Sadrunisa Madam, Professor of Vegetable Science, to give vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a warm good afternoon to all of you. The chief guest of today's function, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Dr. YSR Horticultural University, Dr. T. Janakiram, guest of honor for today's function, Dr. A.S. Padmavathamma Garu, Dean of Horticulture, Dr. YSR Horticultural University, and our Associate Dean, Dr. K. Gopal, guest speaker of today's function, Dr. Srihari, Assistant Professor, Department of ESL in English and Foreign Languages, University, Hyderabad, esteemed university officers, zonal research heads, associate deans, principals, heads of research stations, teachers, research faculty, and the students who have joined today's guest lecture on the importance of soft skills. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of the staff and students at the College of Horticulture, Anantarajupeta, to all those who have made today's lecture a grand success. It gives me immense pleasure to extend my heartfelt thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor of Dr. YSRHU, Dr. T. Janakiram, the chief guest of today's function, under whose guidance today's guest lecture was organized. Heartfelt thanks are due to the guest of honor, Dr. Padmavathamma, Dean of Horticulture, Dr. YSR Horticultural University, for her support in organizing this lecture. She has also shared her thoughts on the importance of soft skills and how, as students of horticulture, they will be benefited by putting these soft skills in practice in their personal as well as professional lives. Thank you very much, madam. I extend my gratitude to all the university officers for their constant support and participation in this event. I also wish to express my gratitude to our guest of honor, Dr. K. Gopal, Associate Dean, College of Horticulture, Anantarajupeta, for providing the constant motivation, encouragement, and supporting us in all the ways possible in organizing this event. I express my deep sense of appreciation to the convener of today's function, Dr. T.V. Surendranath Reddy Garu, for his untiring efforts in organizing this session successfully. I sincerely thank our guest speaker, Dr. Srihari Garu, Assistant Professor in English and Foreign Languages, University, Hyderabad, for his elaborate coverage on the importance of soft skills to the students of horticulture as well as the faculty. Sir has, through his lecture, emphasized the importance of soft skills in today's world. He has guided us as to how we can refine ourselves by observing the self-awareness, self-regulation, by being constantly motivated, having empathy, developing social skills, soft skills like communications, critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, adapting smart thinking. We can become the best versions of ourselves. Thank you very much, sir, for an excellent and informative lecture.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. I also express my thanks to my colleagues, teaching and non-teaching staff for their support in making this program a success. I would like to thank all the beloved students across colleges who have actively participated in today's lecture and made it a grand success. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today and making this program a success. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Srihari, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you
Surendra.
very much for spending your valuable time with us. Thank you
My
very
pleasure.
much.
My pleasure, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.